All right, so today I am able to get the new book. So this would be the book that we're going to use starting today. So they mentioned that we are going to focus on your writing skills as of the moment. So this is the best book for you. So let's start with chapter one. We have these expository essays. So have you tried writing or joining an essay competition before?
Competition?
Yes. Because usually in some schools or in some countries they have these competitions or writing competition.
No, I'm only doing for test.
You're just only doing writing essays during tests.
Yeah.
I see. Because in some countries, or especially here in the Philippines, we also have like an essay writing contest in our school, and then whoever win, that student will be represent. That student will represent the school to a district level, and then that student will meet a lot of students as well coming from different schools to do the activity, something like that. So for this, is writing a good essays important as a student?
I think yes.
Why? Why is it important writing a good essay?
Because firstly they will know like um this is I think this is like a basic skill, necessary skills. Because for example when they sometimes they have to write for email.
Mm-hmm.
For example when they write to the university
Mm-hmm.
to apply for it.
All right. Yes, this is very important for a student to know how to write a good essay.
Yeah.
Because this is writing is exactly part of the four macro skills in learning English. So we have speaking, writing, reading, and listening. So if you can write a good essay, so you are able to express yourself through writing. And if you're able to express yourself, then you can convey your message to other, right? You can bring your ideas by simply writing your ideas, and then when somebody reads the writing that you do, then they will definitely understand or they can learn from that writing of yours. All right. So for this chapter, we will be talking about expository essays. So our objectives for this chapter is to write academic texts. You need to master certain skills. And in this chapter, you will learn to analyze an expository essay, examine the elements of a well-structured essay, and then identify context and grammar clues for correct article use, and follow and practice the steps in the writing process. And then after that, so I will be checking your writings, and then I can do certain corrections, and after doing that, then you can rewrite or revise the essay into good the good one. So write, revise, and edit an essay based on personal experiences. So based on the picture, what can you say about the picture?
Um, like the man is writing.
The man is writing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when you write something, what are the things that you considered before starting writing? What are the things that you consider? What are the things that you think of that you must do before you start writing something?
How you say it? Like to make a plan.
Yes, like make a plan.
Yeah. So
So,
what like for example like they have motion.
mm-hmm,
Then after that we have to brainstorm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so you really have to make a plan.
Yeah.
because making plans before writing something will help you and it would guide you so that you can write a good writing or a good essay. And also, you really have to know what would be your topic or what would be the main idea of the thing that you are writing, right? Because you really have to determine what would be my topic, what would be my writing is all about. Because it is very important to know your topic when you write, because that would really help you to create an amazing outcome or a good outcome. All right. So there's a quotation here or a question. No two writers work in the same way. What is your writing style? So if I were to ask you, what is your writing style, Molly?
How many writing styles don't you know?
You don't know, like when you write, what are your styles? Like, are you going to um, think of using a lot of flowery words or like figurative languages? Or are you like a poetic writer?
I'm free.
Free writing. Yes.
And I write whatever I'm thinking.
All right. So whatever the things that you're thinking, then that are the things that you will write.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, definitely a lot of people will do free writing because they find it easy to do
Yeah.
compared to like academic writing. That's something that is a bit hard because you really have to think of a certain topic and you have to present it in a formal way. But if it is a free writing, so this is what are the things that are in your mind and then you write that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's proceed here. So, in writing an essay is an organized discussion of a topic. So, an essay is exactly composed of paragraphs, right?
Yeah.
So, there should be parts of the paragraph, there should be an introduction, right? So, what are the things that you need to put in the introduction or the as an introductory paragraph?
In an essay,
Mm-hmm.
a background statement.
The background statement.
Yeah.
What else?
Uh, thesis statement and also the opinion of the writer.
Yes, the introductory statement or the background statement, and also the opinion of the writer. So you just give a little background
Yeah.
to what would be the topic that you will be discussing in your writing. So that are the information or the thing that you need to do or you need to consider when you do the introduction. All right, so that would be one paragraph. All right, and after that, that would be the
Body.
all right, the body of the essay. So usually, at least two paragraph. So the main paragraph, or you explain there, or you discuss there in the main paragraph, the main topic,
Yeah.
and then after that, you have the supporting paragraph to support your main topic. All right. So and after doing that, you will have a conclusion. So you will when you say conclusion, you have to summarize or you have to explain what exactly are the things that you are writing from the beginning or from the introductory part to the body and then to the concluding part.
Yeah.
All right. So this would be the model, the analyzing the model. So writing model describes the different methods that writers use as they begin the writing process. The essay is expository, that is, it explains something. So can you read this one for me, please?
Explorers and planners, ways to discover and organize ideas. You are staring at a blank page on computer screen and encountering familiar questions. How do I start? What do I have to say? Everyone shares these problems, but they need not to be serious obstacles. Since the average person can think ahead only 7 words, plus or minus 4, you probably do not begin a sentence knowing exactly how it will end, or exactly what the next sentence will say. Therefore, it is almost impossible to anticipate the exact content of an entire paper. Although some experienced writers approach their first draft with clearly organized plans, you may not be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your thinking may be disorganized, but that is to be expected. The beginning stage of writing is a time to discover your ideas and plan how to present them over subsequent drafts. And there is more than one effective way to discover and plan through free writing, brainstorming, clustering, and outlining. Of course, no two writers work in the same way. Everyone's ultimate goal is to produce a clear, convincing, and engaging piece of writing. However, the process of arriving at that goal differs from person to person and
Mm-hmm.
often from task to task. On the one hand, as the planners, they carefully consider the structure and content of their ideas before writing them down. Then they revise their work only once or twice. On the other hand, are the discoverers, which mean almost everyone else. They compose messy first drafts, sometimes with unrelated ideas,
Mm-hmm.
which they progressively clean up and reshape through multiple revisions. One such discoverer was the Nobel Prize winning author Isaac Bashevis
Shubish.
Singer. When asked how he went about composing his stories, he replies, "There's no plan, no formula. I may
Mm-hmm.
revise something twice or 1,000 times." Whether writers are planners, discoverers, or a bit of both, the process of revision begins after their first draft. Then they can examine what
Examine.
examine what they have said, see what ideas are emerging or incomplete, and decide which to discard, replace, expand, or refine. They may change their mind and wording 2, 3, or 1,000 times until the ideas and language are clear and concise. A writer's mind is filled with an ocean of ideas awaiting a chance to blow out. The task is to open the floodgates and channel the flow onto the page or screen.
Mm-hmm.
One method that discoverers use for getting started is free writing. It involves writing down words as fast as possible without concern for exact phrasing, grammar, or spelling. The work is uncensored and perhaps illogical, but the main goal is merely to keep writing. This process often leads to new discoveries and insight. Much or even all of free writing may not end up in the final draft, but the writers can highlight the part worth keeping and then do a second, more focused free writings. By that point, they can turn to planning their essay.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a long
All right. So that's it. So I wanted you to say the word produce.
produce,
Say the word engaging.
engaging,
One more time.
engaging,
Engaging.
engaging.
Good job. What about the word reshape?
What?
Reshape.
Reshape,
Reshape. Say shape.
shape,
Good job. Reshape.
reshape.
Good job. What about revision?
What?
revision.
revision,
All right, and then examine.
examine.
Okay, so those are the words that you really have to pronounce well. But all in all, your reading is exactly great. So we have here this vocabulary, subsequent. So what do you mean by subsequent?
Coming after or following something else.
Alright, so when you say subsequent, coming after or following something else. Another one, the word ultimate. What do you mean by ultimate?
This the final,
Final or
most important.
most important or very important. This exchange took place between the author and Mr. Singer at a banquet honoring him. So what do you mean by emerging?
Appearing or coming from out of nowhere.
Alright, so appearing or coming out of nowhere. So when you write essays, how many paragraphs you usually write?
Me, for
Four. So it composed with the first paragraph will
first
be
one is introduction.
introduction,
Next two is body.
the body,
That's the conclusion.
alright, the conclusion. Okay. So have you tried writing an essay that there's a word limit?
What limit?
Word limit, number of words
Is like
that you will ask to write an essay for 200 words. Have you tried doing that?
yeah.
And how was the experience?
I tried some IELTS writing test.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
It's okay. But
Yeah, the thing that I cannot do is like I don't know how to express the idea to support the idea well.
Mhm. Yeah, because sometimes if there are like numbers or number of words that you really have to do when you write something, so it would not really let you express what you want or your ideas because you're looking into the numbers of words that you will be using. That is why some people really love to do the free writing because they can really express their ideas well.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the prefixes that you can exactly use. So what do you mean by prefixes?
Prefix is like stand in front of the word, like the root.
All right, so prefixes are
Uh, then it's at the beginning.
all right. So these are group of letters or suffixes. I mean affixes that you will add before the root word. So from the word pre, we need to say before. So noticing vocabulary, let's talk about negative prefixes. So there are negative prefixes that you can use, especially if you are writing an essay or you are writing a paper. So, like for example, what are the negative prefixes here?
This, un, il, im, im.
All right, so this, un, il, im, in, and can mean not or without. So adding these negative prefixes to an adjective usually creates another adjective with the opposite meaning. Like for the word, can you think of a word that we can add a suffix? A prefix.
Possible.
So what would be the word there?
Possible.
So possible. So we're going to add the prefix.
Impossible.
What's the prefix first?
Im.
All right, the im. So the prefix im plus the root word possible, the new form word is
Impossible.
all right, impossible. What about the word advantage?
Disadvantage.
All right, so you're using the prefix.
Dish.
All right. What about responsible?
Irresponsible.
So that would be.
Er.
All right, you're adding the prefix er, so that makes the word irresponsible. What about the word patient? Patient.
Impatient.
Yes. What do you mean by impatient?
Not patient.
Non-patient. What else?
Worry.
Worry. All right. I'm saying impatient. You can also define it as someone who don't like waiting. Someone who like rushing things because someone who don't like to wait. What about this word un?
Um,
What root word can?
Undeniable.
I'm sorry.
Undeniable.
Undeniable. So the word there is deniable, and then we put it the word on, so it's undeniable. What about decide or decided?
Undecided.
Undecided. All right. What else? All right. So let's try to search. What are other words? Okay. Words. We can. Prefix. Let's try the ill.
Ill.
Yes, or the IL. Uh-oh. So for
Illegal.
yes. So the root word there from the word illegal. What's the root word?
What?
What's the root word from this word illegal?
Legal.
So legal. So we put ill before legal. So that means different already, right?
Yeah.
From legal to illegal. All right. What about another word? What about logical?
Not logic.
All right. So when we put the prefix ill, then what would be the new word?
What?
What would be the new word if we put the prefix ill?
Illogical.
All right, good job. So let's try to answer this one here. So practice forming negative adjectives. Look at the writing model again. Find the underlined adjectives that begin with a negative prefix like this, ill, in, and So choose the adjective. For letter B, choose the adjective from part A that best complete each sentence. So for number one, when two things are not connected to each other in a way, they are.
Related.
So what's the root word there?
Related.
And then what's the prefix that we add?
Unrelated.
The prefix un. Good job. What about number two?
If something cannot be done, it is an impossible task.
Alright, so it is an impossible task. Alright, since we don't have
What?
the music. Alright, so since we don't have enough time, so let's continue working on this one by tomorrow. So we will continue answering this activity before we will proceed with our new lesson or with another activity. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, so thank you so much for coming in today, Molly. Have a great day and see you around.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Stop it.